9 languages, but what about Arabic?
Okay. I have to be honest, with the time, I will commit maybe to learn also Arabic because I want to become a professional, and I want to go worldwide. So communication is everything. Have you seen the trainings during this 3 days convention? They were great. And we had, the first day I was a speaker. The second day we had Kayan Tavana, Mario Vielmas, and Julian Chimbala that were speakers. And today we had you, Igor. So, and I hosted today. And I have to be honest, our leaders did a great job. Chapeau. Congratulations.
Honestly, I didn't know how to do this training without excitement, because today is a mesmerizing day, because we have a new world champion Formula 1, Max Verstappen. Woo!
Hey, today Holland is celebrating. So
not only Holland, but you know, Perez out of Mexico did an incredible job. I think Austria is celebrating because Red Bull Racing is an Austrian company, and even England is celebrating because their headquarters are in England. So the Netherlands, Mexico, Austria, and actually we must see that we get those countries in the double the universe or something, that we have a celebration for that, you know.
I leave it up to you. I can only be excited that one more time Success Factory really, and not only Formula 1, we really performed at a high level. So yeah, I'm excited about Red Bull, I'm excited about Formula 1, and I'm excited about our racing team in Success Factory because they did what
and I saw last year that on the car of Julie Phipps, who is now doing Formula 1, was the Deckcoin logo. So I feel a little bit, that's why I love so much the Red Bull, because I feel a little bit that we are one big family, one big successful family.
So you know, Ted and Dini just left.
Yeah,
Ted and Dini just left because they had to leave, and we went through the last days of the Business Forum convention, and there will be another one. So let's see which speakers we will have a Success Factory. Later on, I want to go through a couple of things. And what can we say, Igor? That Roald is...
yeah, people will ask, why is Igor now doing this presentation with Andrea? Because Roald, normally I'm the one that is somewhere else in the world. But today, Roald is at the other side of the world creating, can we say what he's creating? That will come on. I leave it up to them.
I leave it up to them,
maybe they are there.
Maybe they are already there.
Roald, Craig, Jason, are you there? Somewhere out there.
That we can say hello.
Hey. Wow.
Wow. Hey guys, how are you doing over there?
Everything is great over here.
Are you in the racing mood?
Today, anything showed. I think never give up, because anything is possible, even until the last minute.
The people can hear you, but we cannot hear it at the moment. Let's see if we can hear you.
That doesn't help.
I can see you.
Give it an attempt. Give me a break.
I can see clearly now.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
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 Ah, good. So I was saying that if anything today was shown, that you never give up. Anything is possible until the end. So it was a beautiful experience. But we are here actually. So this is not photoshopped. I'm in Atlanta right now. I've been here for a few days already, making the preparations for the launch of the US market, as you know. So that's coming really close. Everything is going really well, actually, above expectations. So it's been an amazing few days, right?
It's been an awesome few days. Again, the statement you just made, above expectations. I don't think that we anticipated we would cover off on as many things and get as many things done as we have in the last few days. So I'm shocked to the best possible way. I love it. It's great.
So yeah, that's where we are.
Wow.
Now, of course, I just
we are extremely excited having you guys over there.
I see that you feel already more comfortable now to promising all kinds of promotions that come up for certain countries because I'm not next to you just to stamp on your feet or hey.
Oh my
I
God.
didn't promise nothing yet, but I come with suggestions, you know. I'm in the celebrating mood. Well, I like the suggestions, and then yeah, hey, it's always
Right,
good to suggest. What do you think?
I already texted Andrea. I said, if you get carried away, she's got to punch you in the side. So she's ready.
Okay.
I think we have great promotions and the team is really playing well. They are really having great results. So let's just push and take advantage of what we have before we are now too generous just because now Max Verstappen won.
Hey, but that's important. And people like you've seen Beijing is sold out. Last week, boom, Beijing sold out. Philippines almost sold out.
Roald, are you there? Can you tell us a little bit what are you really busy there? Then people at least have an idea because they're like, okay, Roald is in USA. What is he really doing?
Ready to stamp on my foot, but let's see what happens. So in a nutshell, all of you should know by now that we are planning to open up the US market next year. We aim for March 1st after the Dubai event. We're going to start here in the US with one product, which is Forex Insiders. And right now we're making preparations to find the right people to help us to set it up. We're looking for office space. We're meeting all kinds of leadership of around the world, especially focused on the US market. So all those things already happened in a very short window of 3 days. And I think that's all I'm going to share right now. But when the time is right, for sure, we will share everything that we can and make sure that everybody also has time to work their prospects in the US market in time to make a flying start.
Enough.
Wow.
Yeah, you said nothing but everything in the same time. But it's I think the people are excited to see everything. So it's good enough for now. We are happy.
And you guys are in the city of the biggest airport in the world, where comes from the biggest airline in the world. And they win some titles over there, I think, recently as well.
Yep. Atlanta is a beautiful city. Actually, Greg and Jason came last year probably 10 times to the Netherlands, and they complained about the weather time after time and all the time bragged about the Atlanta weather. So finally I was about to step into this like non-stop sunshine. I've actually experienced only Dutch weather. It was cold, it was raining, it was storming, there's tornadoes nearby. I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't get the color, Roald. I look at you and you are between two very brown guys and you still look extremely Dutch for the days that you are there.
Have you heard about the old thing that says it looks like the grass is greener somewhere else, but it's not? So
Really not. So yeah,
there is beautiful weather, but we wait for you here in Amsterdam. The people are already missing you, even when it's just 3 days that you know.
Yeah, but I know, of course, the people that work in the office, and I do know that they do a great job. And the reason that I can go to Atlanta and do what is needed here is because I have full confidence in everybody and their abilities in the office as well. So I had no doubts at all that they could perform and deliver the event as they did.
By the way, Craig, in Cancun, we had an interesting conversation at one of the dinners. And I have to say that having this event of 3 days of business for home, as we agreed already at the dinner, we have one of the best leadership worldwide in SuccessFactors. And I'm proud, excited, and happy to say it here on the call. That doesn't need to make us arrogant. There is a lot of space for growth, and there is a lot of space for new leadership. And it was really amazing to see the standard and some of our best leaders from the like Kayan, Mario, Julian, but also the support in the groups from all the leaders to see us performing, because it's definitely another vibe. We really bring a different vibe in the world, in our industry. different perspective, different vision, and also leadership. I have to be honest, even leadership. So, Craig, I'm excited that in these 3 days, we really proved it. That doesn't need to make us arrogant, because when you're arrogant means we already think we are there. We are not there yet. There is much more to do, and there is space for new leadership and growth. So I look forward to hear a lot of new successful stories and new leadership coming up.
Awesome.
I
That's
think
great.
I think it.
No, I was just saying that's great. I'm glad you had that experience. There's no question. So I love that you had that experience. Well done.
How was the retreat in Cancun, Craig? Did you like that?
Yeah, I more than liked it, Igor. I more than liked it. There's I'm going to speak to it in some of my comments today, but I think that was the first live retreat. No, that's not true. I did one with Daniel in Dubai last year, and that was also spectacular. Anytime you can come together with leaders whose intent is to build their mindset, exchange love, relationship, kindness, inspiration, motivation, education, commitment, belief, and unify their thoughts around an idea or a concept. Anytime that happens, I think only good can come from it. So I will have to tell you that for me, that was an exceptional event, and kudos to Mario and Giovanna for putting something together that was so memorable and spectacular. From the things that we did on the outside of the resort to all of the things we did on the inside of the resort, it was a memorable event. The most important thing was the way that I watched relationships evolve and intertwine. And the fact that we had an equally balanced South American team, along with the Spanish European team, man, it was something else. So it was a really great event. And so I'm going to move into my message, because it looks like Igor and Andrea have set that up for me and around that. And interestingly for me, what it got me thinking about, and this entire week I've been thinking about it, the word that I've been on all week is the word called revolution. And I've even had the song from the Beatles playing in my head every day. You're talking about a revolution. And so that's been in my head, and now it's in yours. And I guarantee all of you are going to be humming that and singing that for the rest of the day, maybe all week. I know because I did. And so, I'm thinking about the word revolution, and it got me into this question that I've had for my whole life. Not my whole life, but my whole business life, especially in direct sales. Is it evolution to revolution, or is it revolution to evolution? And the answer is it's actually both, but I think that it always starts with our evolution, because if you think about when we're born, we're not in a revolutionary process. We're not revolting against anything, and we're not turning on anything except life. And we're evolving as human beings. So in business, it's also the same. We come into the business and we're young, we don't have our wings, we don't have our clarity, we don't have our purpose, we don't have our friendships, we don't have our teams, we don't have our money. And so we're trying to evolve. And this is why I always start with the core values. Because if you're going to evolve from something, it has to be from something with substance. And the reason that our vision and mission as a company is so important for all of us is because it's substantive, it's real, it's got foundation, it's concrete, it's relatable, it's meaningful, it's purposeful, it's life affirming, meaning it gives hope to the hopeless, it gives possibility to those without possibility. And the nobility of that is so big and transcendent and larger than us that the magnetic pull, the brand draw, is going to be so powerful. It's much like the magnetic pull of the sun that keeps our Earth going around in the same orbit at essentially the same distance with essentially the same rotation. Pay attention to these words I'm saying, that same rotation. A rotation is also a revolution. And so we are in an organic rotational process in life that is a magnetic pull. And none of this is a coincidence. None of this is not something for you to be unaware of. You should be very aware and very awake of the organic process that lives around you, because it's how the business process is applied to you. These are brainy concepts, but they're also very practical and very purposeful. So when I talk about these core values of integrity and innovation and freedom and contribution and leadership, all of them, every single one of them has an evolutionary life to them and a revolutionary life to them. When you see yourself as a human that's in an evolutionary process, then you're setting yourself up for the revolutionary process. And I want you to understand one more thing in this process. The word evolution lives inside the word revolution. They go together. They're cousins, they're sisters, they're brothers. They're innately and intimately interdependent on each other. This is an important concept, because what I'm often pointing your brains at and your souls at and your hearts at and your guts at is that this is a bigger thing than just buying Dagcoin or recruiting somebody or selling Forex or taking membership units in the View. Yeah, that's the practical part of it. That's the business part of it. But it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. So I want you to remember that integrity, innovation, freedom, contribution, and leadership are your concrete foundation. And you as a human are evolving from that. Now, let me give you the definition of evolution. Evolution is the gradual development of something. The gradual development of something, not the rapid development of something, the gradual development of something. It's like growing a tree, right? Nobody grows a tree overnight. Of course, it takes a long time. You don't get fruit from an apple tree tomorrow just because you drop a seed in the ground. You get apples. Maybe your children get apples, but you do it anyway because maybe your grandfather planted it so you could have apples. That's the evolutionary phase and the kindness and the concept of contribution and leadership and all of that. Some of what you're doing is not for you. Some of it is for your children and your grandchildren. So be consciously aware of that and be excited to be about that. That's part of personal integrity. That's part of you thinking innovatively for the benefit of your family and your community. Those are good things to do. Always, you're evolving around that. But I want to remind you, evolution is the gradual development of something, and it's responding to the demands of your environment. So you step into an environment, usually by choice in business, and then you have to evolve and figure it out and respond to the demands inside that environment. That's a good thing. But here's what revolution is, okay? Revolution is turning, rotational motion, and it's a sudden, radical, and often complete change. A sudden and radical and complete change. It is also turning and rotation and motion. Every time we use the words, every time Jason and I use our words, we've been trained in the same way. We've used the same words. If you listen, they're always the same. They lead toward conversations and thoughts around motion, momentum, space, time. It's all concepts that are all around us, should be in us, through us, about us, and we should be giving them away in random effort. But so I want to talk to you about something that was very interesting. So I was in Mexico at this retreat with Mario and Giovanna, and all of Keeney's team from Spain. We had people from Venezuela. We had people from obviously Mexico and many other countries. And of course, Peter Gershler came from Austria, so he was representing Austria, and Igor and Andrea were there. But the point of all of this is that there was a collective group of people efforting to create their own personal evolution to actually start a new revolution in Latin America, but not just Latin America, because Spain by choice was there. So it's Latin America and Spanish Europe. And if you think about where life has had some of its most powerful radical changes, even in the last several hundred years, there were the great Spanish armadas that came across the sea and got gold, and they changed the elements of what happened in South America. We watched the historical relationship, not always good, between the Maya and the Spanish conquistadores and all of that. And it's very fascinating history. But also about 289 kilometers to the west of Cancun, which is a very sexy, sunny, be at the ocean, get some sunshine, drink some tequila, have some chips and salsa and all that. That's awesome. That's play. But 289 kilometers to the west, there is the biggest crater on planet Earth. It's called the Chicxulub. Chicxulub. It's spelled Chicxulub. It's called Chicxulub. Now, something interesting for you to know about the Chicxulub crater, because it was only discovered in the 1970s. It's believed to be the crater that disrupted planet Earth 66 million years ago. It entered in the Pleistocene era. It's what put 75% of the animals and plants on Earth into extinction. It's where the dinosaurs were eliminated, because it hit the Earth. It was a 10-kilometer mile wide asteroid that hit the Earth. That's 6.2 miles for me. That's huge. It hit the Earth at full speed at what is now the Yucatan Peninsula. And it created a crater that has a diameter of 150 kilometers or 93 miles. And it's 20 kilometers deep, which is 12 miles deep. This was a 6-mile wide asteroid, and it just crushed into the Earth, and it destroyed the balance of the Earth, which ultimately destroyed all the living things, or 75% of the living things on the planet. Now, that disruption in climate was a catastrophe to the planet. But I want you to understand that was a sudden radical revolution in change. And then that revolution began an evolution, the evolution of the planet. So why I ask the question very often, is it evolution to revolution or revolution to evolution? And the answer is yes, it's both. But it typically starts with your personal decision to evolve from what you are now. Sometimes though, it's you sitting around waiting in life for a radical change to hit you. Your spouse dies, you get in a car accident, you lose your job, something painful that causes you to take the strength to get beyond fear and take the actions necessary to create the momentum in your life that is absolutely possible. Change is a funny thing because we resist it. You know, I've shared this methodology with you 100 times, and I'll always do it because it leads to a real common conversation. The thing about change, right? So change is what we're always after. We're always looking to create some good change in our lives. Sometimes bad change comes, and I understand that, but we're really after, and the message I'm talking about is good change. Change that adds value, change that leads to freedom. Freedom is often is the byproduct of your decided revolution, right? In the 1700s here in the United States, we had the Revolutionary War. Why? Because we had a tyrannical government from England that was taxing us, and the people of the rank and file of the country said, enough. We don't like tyranny. We don't like dictators. We don't like Marxism or socialism or high tax without representation. We don't like any of that. And the country is still the same way. And we have that happening right now. We've got efforts to bring in communism, socialism, Marxism in the United States. There will be another revolutionary war in the United States in a short period of time. It's beginning to happen right now because we don't stand for that crap here. And so we're all about freedom, and we will maintain that to the death of communists everywhere. Like that's really, we will do that. So that's because we have this insatiable need. And once you let the genie out of the bottle around freedom, it never can go back in the bottle. Once you experience freedom, you never go backwards. Once you experience owning your own team and owning your own life and owning your own business and making your own money and building it, you never go backwards. You're always clear about it. The hardest climb is to get there. And so you have to take honest stock of the fact of what are you dissatisfied with? Are you dissatisfied? Are you willing to admit you're dissatisfied with how your weight is or how your money is or what house you're living in or whatever? Are you honestly dissatisfied? Are you going to make excuses and lie to yourself? You can. Most people do. But are you going to get real with yourself and call yourself out and say, hey, what am I dissatisfied with? And then poke yourself a little bit about what's your vision for yourself? What are my dreams? You know, I talk about the high performance model around physical to emotional to intellectual to spiritual. When you're operating at this level of being honest with yourself, that is literally being intellectual and emotional. You're confronting your emotions because it sucks to actually admit that you don't have what you want, and you have to actually work through your intellectual relationship to it. But then you get into your vision. When you get into your vision self, that's when you're in your spiritual self. You see yourself at the level you're supposed to be on this planet to do. And then you step into what are your first steps that you need to take, which is awareness and action, awareness and action, awareness and action. What am I aware that I have to do? And am I going to take that action? And then you get into the environment, which is you can leverage the collective light that exists in the environment that you're in. And what I mean by light, the collective light, I mean the love, the commitment, the intelligence, the groupthink, the effort to make something happen. So what happened for me in Mexico was I got to leverage the environment that I was in and live on and love the collective light of the people that were there. Now, if you're dissatisfied, you have a vision for something, you know what steps to take, and you know what environment to do it in, then you must confront the R, which is your resistance, which another way to say that is the FUD, the F-U-D, the fear, the uncertainty, and the doubt. You have to focus in on overcoming the fear, uncertainty, and the doubt. And when you do that, then you can confront the resistance that leads to change, which is your revolution that leads to freedom. Understand, like this is a deep psychological conversation on one hand, but it's also a simple decision making on another. There's a movie I watched in 1991. It had Billy Crystal and Jack Palance, and it was called City Slickers. And there's a moment in that movie, I would invite you all to look it up. If you YouTube search or Google search, look up The One Thing. And there's a moment where Billy Crystal and Jack Palance, who's a cowboy in the West, are riding horses out in the desert in Arizona, and he's talking, and Jack Palance, as the cowboy, is telling him, hey, listen, the secret of life is just one thing. And Billy Crystal is like, what's the one thing? And he said, that's for you to figure out. You got to figure out your one thing. And I'm going to end my comments. I'm reading I've read this book before. It's called The One Thing. It's by a real estate tycoon named Gary Keller. But in this, in chapter 10, there's a thing called the focusing question. The focusing question. The importance of the focusing question is it's not so much whether you have the answers, really, in most cases. In fact, Voltaire says it in here, and I've heard this before. But Voltaire, one of the great philosophers, was quoted as saying that it's judge a man by his questions rather than his answers. Judge a man by his questions rather than his answers. Lots of people can memorize the answers, but it's the questions that you ask that start to show who you really are. And that if you stay in the question, Our whole industry, our whole business, our whole team, our whole humility and learning is all about staying in the question. And it's an important thing. But, you know, there was an interview with Dale Carnegie, who lived to be the second most wealthy man in history, even to date. He was second only to J.D. Rockefeller. And then maybe 1,000 other sheiks in the Middle East, who are nameless. But it's, you know, Carnegie famously was teaching a lesson at a university in Pennsylvania, and he said this, and here is the prime condition of success. The great secret: concentrate your energy. Every thought and capital should be exclusively upon the business which you're engaged. Having begun on one line, resolve to fight it out on that line. To lead in it, adopt every improvement, have the best machinery, and know the most about it. The concerns which fail are those which have scattered their capital, which means that they have scattered their brains also. They have investments in this or that and the other, here, there, and everywhere. Quote, don't put all your eggs in one basket, unquote, is all wrong. I tell you, put all your eggs in one basket and then watch that basket. Look around you, take notice. Men who do that do not often fail. It is easy to watch and carry the one basket. It's trying to carry too many baskets that breaks most eggs in this country. So then the question begs, how do you know which basket to pick? That's the focusing question. How do I know which basket to pick? Well, you picked the Success Factory basket. So you've already picked one. And the question is, how do you get other people to pick this basket? But Mark Twain, who was a great author and great poet and great scholar, really, in the United States, and he said the secret of getting ahead is getting started. The secret to getting started is breaking your complex, overwhelming tasks into small, manageable tasks, and then starting on the first one. So the focusing question is, so how do you know which the first one should be? And if you notice, both guys spoke in terms of secrets, and there's a lot more to share with you about that. But there's a poem I wanna close out with and I want to share this picture and as a way to wrap it up. There's a poem. It goes like this: I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at evening when I counted my scanty store. For life is a just employer. He gives you what you ask. But once you have set the wages, why, you must bear the task. I worked for a menial's hire, only to learn dismayed that any wage I had asked of life, life would have willingly paid. I want to repeat those last two lines because they're the key lines to me. That any wage that I had asked of life, life would have willingly paid. Look, life will pay you what you ask if you merely ask. And it's time to give your life and yourself a raise, but you have to start the evolution that will lead to that revolution. It's a very simple scenario, okay? Here's the big picture of your life. This is the big picture. So what is my one thing? Think about that. What's your one thing? And then the small focus is, what's my one thing right now? These sound like such simple things, and sometimes when I sit on these things, I think, man, this is too simple. But what I observe wherever I go, it's not too simple, and everybody fights the same things. I watch people who have been in full activity and made millions of dollars 2 years ago, now not in activity, kind of swallowing their pride, trying to figure out how to get back to that, or don't know how to, and they've lost their momentum. It's all played out in the brain. The more we keep poking at these things and staying in the question and being focused and refocused on that one thing, the more momentum and action and happiness and clarity we have. I live a very strange life sometimes, but I'm so innately and immensely happy as a human being because I'm so focused on this one thing, this success factory game, all of you. I am so, the happiest I am is when I'm in places like Mexico with the people and traveling on a bus to Chichen Itza and swimming in my clothes in a cenote, which I've never done before, freezing my butt off. But the thing is I love it. I love it. I love all of you. I love what this business does. I love what we do for a living. I love our mission. I love innovating wealth creation for humanity. I'm all about it. Like, that's what, if I can be remembered in life for anything that I ever do, it will be to sustain and fulfill the promise of awakening people to the possibility that they can make big money and do great things. I can't do that. You have to do that. My job is to do whatever I can do here. So I hope that you will focus on that one thing, figure it out, and be all about it. If you are, then I'm going to see you at the top. So I'm going to turn it over to, is it going back to Andrea? It's going back to Amsterdam. Andrea, back to you.
Hey, you go for the shortcut. So you want to introduce Jason. And because we also have other guests here in the office, you know what I will do? I wanted to first say thank you because you had a great speech. And I do agree that Mexico was a great experience. I'm really happy that Peter Gushner was there. Kenny Amores, Black Diamond, with his teams from Spain in 1 month. They just decided that 25 people travel to Mexico. Can you imagine? Because I always believe that the union makes us stronger. So you see, when you can be in those places, exchange all the experiences, all the feelings, all the strategies, and you get to know each other better, you will empower yourself. And when you want to you want to evolve in your business, you need to empower yourself and be surrounded by the right environment, especially.
I couldn't disagree or couldn't agree with you more. I think, the whole, me spending a little time thinking about where we were in life and how that meteor impacted the planet Earth, and how we have the opportunity to be a business meteor to the hopeless and actually impact the Earth and let it ripple through and change the climate of poverty, the climate of despondency, the climate of not thinking smart. We can change all of that. That to me that's our mission. So we need to get.
Definitely, we are busy with evolving. And definitely no one can have an excuse after what has happened in Latin America and Mexico. The people in this COVID period, we could, since 2 years, we didn't really meet and had live events. But now, no excuse, because now there is really a revolution in our business in Latin America, because they cannot say, I didn't know, or I was not informed, or I didn't see it. Now it's really, I've seen it, I listened, I was there, and I will make the difference. So I will start. And it was beautiful because we really combined personal relationships that in these last 3 days I've heard a lot. And I have to be honest, relationships is one of the pillars, one of the most important pillars in our business. And so we built at a personal level relationships with everyone. And it was beautiful because we also even had experiences that I will bring with me my entire life, like Chichen Itza. We have been there, and it's beautiful because we already started to imagine what if we can bring this beautiful place and how we are going to do it, and some ideas in the view, because we need to start to imagine. When you imagine, and when I start to believe in it and it's possible to do everything, my mind starts to fly. And then we have been in the cenotes, as you saw. So these caves with water, we didn't really share with the people what amazing experiences. They had this rally with a team to build the team skills and to see, actually to know yourself better, the rally in the morning. So they had these different teams that compete to each other. But this game was not to say, oh, I'm better, you are better. No, it was, hey, let's see who is good team worker and who not, but better you get to know yourself, because how you do it out, you will do it here in the game too. So might be you will discover a lot of things about yourself. And it was funny to have the report of everyone. Then we went to Xcaret, that it was really a natural park, and we went in the river and we freeze crack. That's why I got even more sick, because I was really cold, but it was, hey, amazing. It was really beautiful. And we had the show with a dinner with the Maya history. And I have to be honest, one of the most beautiful travels I've done in my life, and I've traveled almost all over the world. But you know, I always say it's not only the place, it's not only how do you say, the country, the place, and the moment, but it's with the people. And I have to say gracias, thank you to all the people that have been there. Gracias a todo el liderazgo, because we all made it special and unique. And after this trip, I can only say that we need to go to the next level and we unlock our full potential and bring our business to the next level, because we do have the potential. You do have the potential. You do have the vehicle. So it's just about hard work, focus, discipline, and dream big. And don't play too small, because a lot of people, after this Latin retreat, they cannot think anymore small. Are you agreeing, Craig, with that? I see you already still there.
Yes.
Playing big at this level, you can't. So if you're doing that, that's your fault. I have to be honest. Now I can say it's your fault, because now after we met you, we showed you the bigger picture. And having said that, because we need to move forward, I want to give the word to our next speaker. That is your companion over there with you. You need to give the place to a gentleman that many people are always looking forward to listen. Jason, you are one of the favorite speakers because of your content, because of your personality, of a lot of people in Success Factory. So, because I see the people often during the week, the stage and the word is from Jason Time.
Well, it's good to be with you all. It's good to have Roald over here. It was great to see all the pictures and the videos that you guys were sending from Mexico and the experiences that you all have. Obviously, you know, those are always life-changing moments in time that could lead to an absolute radical change in your life if you so choose to allow that to happen. I think Craig, I mean, when Craig was talking, I don't know about you, but I start writing down notes and ideas and thoughts that go off in my brain of what he says. But the first word that he used, I hope that you all wrote it down. I'm going to write it down just so you can remember it. But the word that he started with was this word called evolve. The word was evolve. And evolution and revolutions are interesting words, but to evolve is a choice. The ability to evolve personally is a choice. The ability to evolve financially is a choice. The ability to evolve relationally with other people is a choice. The ability to evolve with what you learn and what you know is a choice. And your ability to evolve spiritually is a choice that you get to make. And the moment you choose to evolve means that you're choosing to move away from something and towards something else. When you start to evolve, it means that you're moving away from one thing and towards something else. And it sometimes creates a struggle. And for most people, they don't understand the struggle. And I'm going to write two words down for you. The first word is force. The first word is force. And the second word is power. And there was a book written by a guy by the name of Dr. David R. Hawkins, who wrote a book called Power versus Force. But when you're evolving or you're changing, there's two ways to do it. One is by force and one is by power. Now, this is the book right here. Power versus Force. Dr. David R. Hawkins, The Hidden Determinants of Human Behavior. It's a powerful book. If you've never read this book, you should go and read it, and you'll understand why most people never get what they want, why most people will never evolve into what they're trying to evolve towards, is because they try to force something to happen, as opposed to allowing their spirit and allowing themselves to sit in power. Craig also talked about gravity, talked about some interesting concepts that if you pay attention, may allow you to evolve into the type of person that you're wanting to evolve into, the type of learner you're trying to evolve into, the type of leader you're trying to evolve into, the type of influencer you're trying to evolve into, or the type of empowered leader that you're trying to evolve into. But the reason why force never works, have you ever tried to force something to happen? Have you ever tried to force a conversation to happen? Have you ever tried to force someone, recruit someone into your business? You ever try to force a sale? You ever try to force something that may last for a small period of time, but it ends up not working long term, because force requires an enormous amount of energy. Force requires an enormous amount of energy. So for example, if you're going to take a rocket ship and send the rocket ship out of the atmosphere of Earth into space, it exudes an enormous amount of force, meaning it has to use up all this gas, all this fuel to force itself through the atmosphere until it can get into outer space. On the other hand, once it's in outer space, it no longer has any fuel. Those rockets have fallen by the wayside, the fuel's been used, it's forced itself into space. The only way for the rocket ship to come back down to Earth is by power. And I don't mean engine power, I mean power of the gravity of Earth, right? So the Earth isn't sitting there going, wow, let me figure out how to force this rocket ship back down to Earth. The Earth just sits in its power, it sits in its gravity, and somebody else has to use that gravity to allow the rocket ship to come back down into Earth. And some people are able to recruit that way. If you understand who you are and you're truly authentic, you don't have to force recruiting. You don't have to force building. You don't have to force a sale. You don't have to force cash flow. You don't have to force these things to happen. If you really know who you are and you've evolved to the point that you know exactly who you are and you sit in your authentic power, you'll recognize that you will begin to attract what it is that you've been wanting to attract. And that's where a lot of people get the law of attraction wrong, is they say that I'd like to attract what I want. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Dr. Wayne Dyer said that years and years and years ago. You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. And so you need to work on your force. And so the question is, where do you go to figure out who you are? What are some things that you can do? I talked about sitting in your spirit. That's one word that you need to think about, is your spirit, right? There's a difference between your spirit and your ego. Your ego likes to force things to happen. Your spirit allows you to sit in power. And those things that you need to do. You need to find a quiet place that you can go to. You need to find some place that gives you peace. You need to find some way of finding gratitude. For me, it's an island called Jamaica. For me, it's being able to get away and just be quiet, just to walk a beach or climb a tree or sit in a hammock or talk to the local people that are there or listen to the local music. Where do you go to sit in a quiet place for more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes or an hour or a day? You need to find somewhere you can go to sit with your spirit and reconnect with who you really are and what it is that you're really trying to do. Craig talked about that one thing. What is that one thing that you want to be known for? What's that one thing that you think you can do for other people that nobody else can do? What's that one thing that you believe that you're able to contribute, that if you did contribute it, humanity would be better off if you did? And if you didn't contribute it, humanity would be worse off than if you kept it to yourself. You owe it to the world to figure out your gifts and talents and then offer them up to the world. And I think that you'd be shocked. I think that you'd be amazed at what would happen in your life. You know, we watched a few of the videos from the Business for Home. We paid attention to that event as well. It was actually absolutely inspiring to see the quality of the stage. I agree. The way that that virtual event was put on was unbelievable. Ours was great, and this one was great too. And I think people look towards greatness. They look towards things that are luxurious. They look towards things that look like they have their act together. That's what is sitting in power is. When you can do an event like that, it's just sitting in power. You put anyone on a stage and they just feel phenomenal. But I'll tell you, yesterday was Julian gave a talk around, he wasn't, as he said, promoting a company on the video, but nonetheless, we all know that virtual reality is a magical spot inside of this company. but he gave a scenario. I hope that you all caught the scenario that he was talking about when he talked about virtual reality. And in particular, he talked about vision boards, and he talked about being able to get yourself in a room where you can see, hear, smell, taste, and feel, meaning that you hit all the senses of the human being. And the reason why that works, and why it will work in the view and why it will work in virtual reality, it's worked for many people in a three-dimensional world of a vision board. I needed to go find pictures and cut them off and put them onto a piece of paper. But if you're in a virtual world and all of a sudden it's all around you and you are fully immersed in your own vision of what you believe your future is about, you have no other choice than to tap into your spirit and to sit in your power. Imagine the possibility of what that can do for anyone that's aspiring to be something great inside of network marketing, or anyone that's aspiring to be great in any avenue of their life, whether they're in sports, whether they're in business, whether they're in school, whether they're in education, whether they're in retail, whether they're in whatever they're in. The ability to fully immerse themselves inside of their own dream and to have every single part of their psychology, all the dopamine, all the norepinephrine, all the chemicals that go off in the human body. What that's going to do is going to allow them to completely sit inside of their spirit, and done through an avenue called virtual reality, done in an avenue called through the view. There's three words that I talked about before, but if you can imagine what Julian was talking about, all of a sudden there's three words that come to life. Number one is the human. Don't ever forget about the human being inside of virtual reality, because virtual reality, you can get caught up in everything that it could be, but you forget that it's the human being that has to put the glasses on. It's the human being that has to put that hardware onto their eyes. It's the human being that then has to go and do something. And the second word is this word called explore. This human being has to go and explore. And what is it that they're going to explore? What is it they want to explore? It can't be all ego driven. If it's spirit driven, all of a sudden someone's going to tap into something that they otherwise wouldn't have been able to tap into, and they're going to evolve into a greater version of their story than the story that they sit and tell themselves, right? So the human being goes and explores, and imagine them exploring that world that Julian was talking about. There's no choice. There is no other choice but for the third word to take effect. That third word is to be completely inspired. To be completely inspired. And again, Dr. Wayne Dyer talked about inspiration, meaning the reason why this is powerful is because inspiration actually means to be in spirit. It means to be in spirit. Inspiration means to be in spirit. And that's where tremendous power comes from. But at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, what is it that you're doing? What is it you're doing right now? It's the middle of December. It's almost the end of 2021. We're heading into a brand new year, 2022. Are you taking inventory of yourself? Are you setting up a planning strategy for yourself of what it is that you want to, who you want to be for 2022? Have you done an inventory of what has worked for 2021? What didn't work in 2021? What did you learn about yourself, and what can you do better? And I want to give you a couple of words to think about as we head into 2022. These actually come from an old mentor of mine in another network marketing company. There's three letters, and I'm going to draw it out in the form of the cash flow quadrant because some of you know those letters, but I'm going to give you three brand new letters that sit inside of a quadrant. These three letters are R, B, L, and C. R, B, L, and C. And what do these words mean? Well, I'm going to tell you. If you can focus yourself in your spirit, and you can figure out what it is that you really want, and you can figure out what you need to learn, and you can figure out what you need to do for yourself to lead yourself, if you can figure out what you need to do to influence other people, all of a sudden these things are going to take effect. You're going to move from R, which means recruit. You need to learn or relearn or get after in 2022 the ability to recruit. Then it's going to move down to the second quadrant. The second quadrant, the B, stands for build, recruit, build. Then you go from building, then you're going to move up to the third quadrant, which is L, which is the ability to lead, right? So you're going to recruit, you're going to build, you're going to lead, and then ultimately down here to step number 4, the C quadrant, which means you're going to be able to compete. You're going to be able to compete against your former best version of yourself. You're going to compete against other teams inside of Success Factory. You're going to compete against other countries inside of Success Factory. And you're going to compete against the best of the best in the world in network marketing. Because that's the aim of the company, is to build the greatest network marketing company the planet's ever seen. But it means that you have to, and we have to, know how to recruit. We have to know how to build. We have to know how to lead. And we have to know how to absolutely compete. And there's two ways to play the game, right? Andrea talked about playing big, and that's been a tagline that I've used for my entire life since I was in sports, is to ride the wave of life and to play big. Why would you choose to play small? Why would you choose to play small? I have no idea why anyone would get in a business like this, the opportunity to build a business anywhere in the world, and choose to play small. Why wouldn't you choose to play big? You may not become the biggest, but why wouldn't you actively, intentionally, in your spirit, choose that you want to go and play big? It's up to you to do it. I think that I've never watched a full Formula One race in my entire lifetime. It wasn't something that comes across my radar. But Rauld is over here and he's explaining to me and Craig, Formula One, and it's Max versus Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton's this 8-time champion, and they're neck and neck. And after how many races? 20-some races. It's the first time, I believe, in history of Formula One that they were tied for points. Is that right? That they were tied for points. How is this going to happen? Two champions that are trying to compete against each other. They're playing big. They're playing to win. It was for the championship of the world today. Both of them completely tied in points at 369.5 points. I don't know how points work. I just learned for the first time what a red tire is, what a white tire is, what a yellow tire is. I don't know. All I know is that they mean different things, and they allow someone to compete at the highest level. So here you are, you've got the guy from the Netherlands. The Netherlands has never won the world. Nobody from the Netherlands has ever won the world championship in Formula One. And all of a sudden, here's this race that's gearing up. The guy that's from the Netherlands, Max, has what's it called, the pole position? The pole position. The pole position means he gets to start the race number one, and then the guy that wins all the time is directly number two. So they're starting the game like this. There's two ways to play the game. You can either play not to lose, or you can play to win. You can play the game to play not to lose, or you can play to win. And immediately, as soon as the race starts, bang, within the first 5 seconds, this is the first time, it's at 8 o'clock in the morning here in the United States. I'm like, I'm going to get up. I'm going to see what this Formula One thing is all about. And I'm going to watch this whole entire race. And we're all talking about how great the Netherlands driver is. And so the guy starts at number one, and the number two guy who's won 8 times is in the number 2 spot. But as soon as this race starts, within 5 seconds, bang, this Hamilton guy is up in front of the Netherlands guy. And I held off from texting Rauld. I go, what the hell, man? Within 5 seconds, the guy's losing. Just like this, within 5 seconds, the race is going to be an hour and a half. And within the first 5 seconds, the guy that's won 8 times, the guy that clearly knows how to win, not 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, bang, he's out of the gate playing to win. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's going to lose. And then the race goes on and it goes on, and the distance gets longer and longer and longer and longer and longer and longer till towards the end. It's like, I'm feeling bad for Rauld. I'm like, man, we're going to have to go pick him up. We're probably going to have to console him. It's going to be a terrible day. This is the first time I watch a race, the guy I want to win. I've got my son watching, my wife's watching, because I'm out here talking about this race. And then they're like, this guy from the Netherlands, Max, needs a miracle. This guy needs a miracle for him to be able to win. And wouldn't you know it, a miracle happened. Something happened in the race, a crash happens in the race, and now they're down. These two guys, the distance has come closer and closer and closer, and they have one lap in the world championship. It's going to be these two guys, and they both made a decision. How would they play the game? One chose to play the game at this moment in time, not to lose. One guy chose, I have no other option. I have to play to win. Lewis Hamilton, the 8-time champion, decided not to take his little car into the pit stop and to get a fresh set of tires. He's like, you know what? These have been running pretty good. I feel pretty good. I'm just going to play not to lose as long as I can stay in front of them. For one lap, I'm the world champion. Max, on the other hand, goes, I have nothing to lose. Let me bring my little car into the pit. Let me get a fresh new set of shoes, called a fresh new set of little red tires, and let me come back out into the course. So one guy's playing not to lose, old tires. One guy's playing to win, brand new tires. One lap. And all of a sudden, as this goes out, bang, the guy from the Netherlands goes right to the front because his intention is, I have nothing to lose. I have to play to win. The other guy said, you know what? I have everything to lose. I have to play not to lose. If you play the game not to lose, you'll end up like Lewis Hamilton, shocked and awed that you just lost the championship of the world. Equally, if you play to win, you will surprise yourself. Your family will be surprised. The fans will be surprised. Everyone will be shocked that when you play to win, everything in the universe conspires for you to win. Needing a miracle to win isn't by some default thing that happens. It's because the intention is I have no other option but to play to win. If you don't watch this race, or if you're someone like me that never watches it, I would encourage you to go and watch the end of that race or pay attention to it, because it's a huge lesson in life. And it's the same thing is true for you for this business. How are you going to choose to play the game of success factor? Are you going to play not to lose, or are you going to play to win? Because at the end of the day, you will have to focus, like Craig said, follow one course until successful. Follow one course until successful. And I guarantee you, everything in the universe will conspire for you, because you'll be sitting in spirit and you'll realize you had no other choice, no other options but to give it everything you've had. And I think that you will shock yourself, and I think you'll shock other people when the time comes and the game is over and you realize, holy shit, I won. I'm a world champion. You deserve to know what that feels like. Your family deserves to know what that feels like. Everyone around you deserves to know what that feels like. And I'm telling you, what we're setting up here in the United States, what we're setting up all over the world, because we're having so many conversations about how to set this game up to be even bigger and even greater than you could possibly imagine. But at the end of the day, it's all about you. And I couldn't ask to be part of a better team. I always am humbled. I'm always grateful to be a part of this team. At the end of the day, I hope that you ride the wave of life, but also at the end of the day, I hope that you always, always play big. So with that, I'll turn it back over to the Netherlands, because I know someone else is a big fan of racing. It's Mr. Igor Alberts. I'm sure he was watching the race. It was my first time doing it, but I got to tell you, now I need to go in person. I need to hear the cars, and I want to feel them when they go by. So with that, I'll turn it back over to the Netherlands.
Wow, Jason. Wow. I think today you nailed it with the Max Verstappen example. Some people, they just play to not lose. And I think the majority of people in life, you know, that's their life. And what happens when you play not to lose, you give the orders to the university, actually, yeah, let me lose. And with the Max Verstappen, there was only one way. He plays to win big. And you always say, play it bigger, think bigger, dream bigger, believe bigger, play bigger, act bigger. That's exactly what they did. And the universe conspired, brought it together like a wind turn, boom. And there was no way out. And then I looked the race as well from, from a mental perspective. The way Max Verstappen put the car next to Hamilton to show him, hey, buddy, I'm here. Look, do you see my tires? That I can imagine being Hamilton and thinking in myself, you know, I cannot say the word, but I would say, F, K,
Yeah.
shit,
A different F1.
I would, and that means that when they go into the turn, you saw already Max Verstappen making speed because there was no way that he would let Hamilton go away with it. And Hamilton knew this guy will crash me off the track when needed. Because at a certain moment, for every success, there's a price to pay. And do you give it 80% or 90% or 98 or 99? Or do you give it the full available 100%? And either you do it or you don't. And some people will say, luck or not luck. I don't believe that things at the end of a season of a casino, it's equally red and it's equally black. So when red is there, black will follow up. And when you can trust this way of thinking, there's no way else to do than go all in. And yeah, you know, I looked at it and I was really, the moment that they changed the tires, I knew this is it. The odds has changed, you know. Sometimes you say, let the odds always be in your favor. When they are not in your favor, move them in your favor with belief and massive action and just the expectations that you can do it. And I like it always when you say that, Jason, act bigger, play bigger, because there is no fun in playing small. What do you think, Andrea?
Think bigger, act bigger. But I would say that winning is also a decision. Jason always says it's mindset. It's a decision that you are going to do it, and then you need to act to win. So it's a combination. And of course, you're going to win. You are the one that is going to take the most risk. And the universe, and I wrote it down, Jason, the universe will conspire that you are going to win if you are ready to win. If you take all the risks to win. If you take the decision to win. And you know what? I loved it because for many years, I used it in my trainings. And now I heard it back, and thank you, Jason, to reminding. But also in these 3 days of business for home, I heard many times you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are.
Right.
So many times we want to have more, we want to win, but we are not ready to win, or we are not the winners ourselves. But also you want to have more, but you need to become more. So we don't attract in our business what we want. We attract what we are. And yeah, I wrote in the groups because I wanted to go fast that in 2022, we need to recruit, to build, to lead, to compete. But hey, actually, Jason said we need to end this year recruiting, building, leading, and competing. So just that we are now talking about competition, and then how we end our 2021, we start 2022. So I am excited. Of course, I have too much adrenaline. I have too much excitement because my environment in the last 3 days has been empowering, exciting. My mind is blown away. These 3 days were food for my soul, food for my my passion, that is network marketing, for our company. And I love the training of Julian yesterday. I really got emotional because he had such a great training. Jason also said something about it, but really explaining from the past, the present, and the way we are going into the future in a very creative, nice way, connecting, of course, to the virtual reality. And I was like, wow, from all these speakers, I heard something completely different. And of course, in an indirect way, he shared the virtual reality, and that's the view. But
I want to say something about that.
was...
I want to say something about that, Julie, Andrea, because we saw this weekend with all the different speakers. And when you are success factory oriented, like in this call, you saw that we dominated this event. I looked at it from a quiet perspective. I had to watch all the days. And yeah, we had the young rising stars. We had them in our thing. And by looking at the trainings, you know, it proved again to me why Julian Chimbala is such a great leader. Julian, when you're looking, you knocked it, you nailed it, you did something.
Yes.
You were actually the Max Verstappen of this event, because we cannot promote a company, we cannot promote our own opportunity, but what you did was you really went on the line.
Yeah.
And you know, when this is the line, you are hanging way over the line, but only one toe was within the line. So officially you stayed within the parameters of the event. And I'm extremely proud because you showed you did a great training, and this great training will have consequences because other people will figure out worldwide where it belongs to. And you know, we spoke with Ted and Dini. They say, ooh, yo, 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 yo. But you know what? There is no winning without using risk. And we talked in Mexico. You know what? I'm not a humble guy. Sorry to say, I'm not humble. We are the best company in the world. We have the best company. We have the most rewarding compensation plan. We have by far the best product. Nobody else has this product. And can you imagine when we launch in Dubai the new Forex inside us, then even we knock them off the feet with the view. We have the future. We have the future. Not for nothing, the biggest company on the planet, built 100 years ago, started with a V as well, the VOC. We have the view. And I have the guts to say, after this event, we have the best leadership in the world. I want to challenge everyone out there, out of our company, to go in competition with our leaders. We have the young rising star. Yes, who won that competition? Hey, Kayan, you are here. Come forward, Kayan. We have Kayan.
So one of the trainings that really had an impact is our Black Diamond, Kayan Tavanay. He also received because, hey, he said one of his favorite mentors is Jason Tan. So even he pronounced names that was very clear from far away that we are hungry for success. Our people are not comfortable leaders. And one of them
is Kayan. And with Kayan, we dominate the rising stars. And he did a marvelous job. Now, from all the, can you imagine, the first day was as well hosted by Kayan, the last day by Andrea. So, hey, guys, be honest. Look at the difference between day 1 and 3 and the middle day, the host of the middle day. Hey, sorry to say, but I like to speak with the words of DJ Khaled. We the best. We the best.
We
saw
the best.
The leadership of Mario Vilmas organizing the event.
Good.
For it was the best retreat I ever visited. I would say that honestly, the organization and the way it went, it was mesmerizing. And then Mario on this training, he nailed it as well. So, you know, for another company, we have in the Middle East and that whole region. Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen? Maybe people don't understand it, but we have from the Middle East the best of the two sides. We have as well Saudi Arabia going ballistic, going completely insane in results. Congratulations, men and women out there. They are the best. At the same, we have Iran, and Iran is performing like crazy as well. So it doesn't matter. In this case, it doesn't matter where you come from. It matters where we go together. And we are able to bring up the best leadership all over the world. It is just a matter of time in the missing countries that we attract the leadership. And I'm extremely sure that with the view and with this Forex Insiders, now we open up the United States. Wow.
By the way, Kayan, let's give the word to him. He just came back
Yeah.
also before hosting the Business Forum event. One day before, he came from Canada. And it
Wow.
was even his birthday on the day of the hosting. So, Kayan, let's give the word to you because we started talking.
Oh,
here.
but we are excited.
We are
We're so
excited.
excited. I'm
We
not
are
going to sing anymore.
overexcited. And
Can I sing again, Andrea? I'm so excited. Maybe we sing together, then that gets
I'm
better.
not a good singer.
I'm
but,
not a good singer. That's why I have network marketing. That's why
I'm
I'm
the
doing
best
network
singer.
marketing.
marketing.
So, Kayan, I
Yes.
want to give you the word. What was your message in the business from your training? What do you want to make clear and what do you bring home?
Yes. So first of all, thank you for inviting me also on this Zoom call, great Zoom call. Guys, you've been following the business for home even for the last 3 days. And all I can say, thanks Ted and Dini for putting such a crazy and amazing event all together. Next to all the knowledge, we realized with Success Factory, we really have the best leadership in the entire world. So let's start with that because I'm just saying objectively, I'm 9 years in network marketing, and last 9 years I've been all around the world to all different leaders, to all different trainings and events. And what I saw for the last couple of days, the standard was high, but where we put the lead is we have our own league. So we are playing at a whole different league altogether.
I think that too. We are playing in a different league.
Yes.
And who's playing with us? Only us. It's amongst us. It's amongst
Your
us.
training was a very good training and you talk about system and process. And I would love that you share a couple of minutes. What was your really training? What did you share with the people?
Yes, the training was really a simple training because if I go back today to listen to what you said, what Jason said, what Craig said, it's basically the same thing, but just in a different way. Because Craig started with change. So for every innovation, you need change, but not every change is good. But that started with me 7 years of failure, failing. At a certain point, I needed something to change in me because I see Ahmad Rawaya going through tremendous success. I see Alexander Kopin. I see team of Mario Vilmas. I see all great leaders starting from zero and going to great success. So I needed to change something in myself. But I had a conversation in the first 7 years. I thought change is a bad thing because I wanted to be me. I had some kind of crazy ideas and I wanted my ideas to really work out. But I started to change, and what changed with me, I started to look to reality as it is. Let's say it, because there are some things that needed to be done for success, and I was not willing to do that. So I needed to change my mentality, and here it comes, focus. I started talking about leadership, that you should follow your leaders, because my mindset created 7 years of failures for me. So if I wanted to become successful, I needed a different mindset from people who had already the results. So Mr. Jason said, focus, follow one direction until success. And my focus was, because I didn't know the direction, I just started following the direction of Daniel Fisser and Rod Miley and Igor and Andrea and Julian and all other leaders. So if you don't have it by yourself, first of all, start to change, because change is a good thing. If you don't change, nothing will change in your future. And then start following the people who have the right success, who are here to willing to help you, to guide you, go step by step. And that's what's really important. Don't get into discussions with your leaders. They already know the way. They are investing their time in you, in your process, so you can grow. And that's the thing that you should challenge is not the leaders, not the company, not the product. Your own mindset, your own perspective about how you see the reality. When you change that, you start seeing that everything around you starts to change.
Wow. Wow. I think that is exactly what happened to you, Kayan. When I remember in 2018 when you walked in the room, where you achieved fast that Ruby level, then hanging in there, because you did great work, you were helping others. In the same time, you limited yourself by not playing bigger. and now you're on top of the game and playing on this higher level. I've seen everything has changed on you. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you believe, the way you act. So I love that this is a part of network marketing, the personal development and people going from zero to hero, from tragic into magic. And we can speak that out loud, because I still believe that the most important reason why people join is the money. That is always, whatever we say, I had that discussion with Ted and Dini, that it's a lot about personal development and moving, but the reason people join is making the money. So most people give up when they don't make fast money. You actually hang on. You started to make the money, and then everything moved. So you looked at this business for home convention. Besides your own thing and our own speakers, what did you get out of it? Why is it for people that are in a company good to watch an event like this?
The amazing thing was you hear all the speakers speaking, and they are giving you some really simple things that you can do. So, for example, how you should do the follow-up, or how you should do the inviting. At the inviting, you should then present people. So those are basic, simple things. But I hear that from my first day in network marketing, but I was still a failure for the 7 years. And the challenge was, I was hearing that, but I was still doing my own thing. Right now, with the successes I have, because life is being lived forwardly and understood backwardly. Right now, where I stand today and I'm looking back, all the knowledge, everything was already there. So I could become successful in my first 2 years. But it was up to me that I didn't create my success. For everyone who's there, go follow the events, follow all the top leaders, because they are saying the most simple things that create your success. And the only thing you need to do is to understand why they are saying it, not challenge it, but to understand why they are saying it.
Wow, wow. And the beautiful thing is that with an event like this, our own people could see our leadership. I think that's always good, because I think that people sometimes underestimate. They take it too much for granted. They think, oh yeah, but you know, we have that and that. And you know, like Andrea, you said earlier, the grass is always looking greener at the other side. You know why? Because when you look from a distance, all the grass is standing up like this. Back tip. So you look at the side of the grass and you see only the green part. But when you stand above the grass and you look down, you don't see this part of the grass. You only see this part. So actually you look down into the ground, and where the grass is green, the underground is muddy. Otherwise the grass is not green. So when you look, it maybe looks muddy, but that means it's very healthy actually. From a distance, our grass absolutely is the greenest one, because it's built on very muddy, very healthy ground.
In these days, we also have heard, we see the glory, but we don't know the story. And it was really beautiful to hear some of the stories, because at the end of the day, is who we were, who we are, and who we want to become. That is the process that we need to follow. And I think that when they say money is not important, Kayan, because he's making money, he's successful, he could travel to Canada. That is a very expensive flight, expensive country. Plus, there are costs involved. And I'm happy to see you in business class, because, you know,
business class?
Yes.
Hey,
How did that
your
feel?
standard is growing.
Yes, yeah, the standard is growing. So, guys, you need to work to a certain level, because the first time it was on the way to Canada, I was sitting in a business class for 8 hours. So I remember my flights for 3-4 hours in the economic class. Then you are sitting like this, and every 10 minutes, someone is hurting. So you need to stand, you need to do something. But right now, we went to the business class. The service was great. The feeling was great. And the 8 hours, it was like even almost better than my own bed. So it's crazy. And the reason I'm telling you this, we want to help people in our team to go to a certain level that they also can do this on a normal base. So you get the cab, you get a taxi to go somewhere. Right now, you just get a business class to go on your next trip.
Why not?
Why not?
The question is, why
Exactly.
not? Why many people can do it and we not? Because of network marketing. We work hard. We need to treat ourselves good. Especially it's becoming a standard. Why not living the life, in comfortable way? Because when you came to Canada, you came fresh out because you could sleep, you are not tired, you could work.
Exactly, yes.
You went directly into meetings. And you know what, Kayan? When they say in order that your team grows, you need to grow, you are the example that your team is growing because you are growing. The law of the lead is true. John Maxwell always speaks about it.
Yes.
If you don't grow, your team will not grow. So you are growing, your team is growing, and that's the result. So people out there, they need to know it, because Buzz Bunches said something about something in his trading. There are 4 phases in our business: recruiting, trading, managing, or blaming. So in which phase are you? Recruiting, training, managing, or blaming? The best is keep in recruiting. And Jason said it also today: recruit, build, lead, compete. So you are one of those leaders
Now,
that stays in that
and the
phase.
beauty is, and today was a beautiful example. Again, you're doing the hosting, the business forum ending. We made a major impact on it. But why did we make a major impact on it? Why did Max Verstappen at the end of the day become world champion? When I look at our company, when you compare it to Formula One, it is the best car. It
The
is
best
simply
vehicle.
the best car. Now,
The fastest.
when you look at the tires, Max Verstappen, they put it on his car, the best tires, the red one at the end. So, but we have the best tires too. We have the View, we have the Deck Coin, we have the Forex Insiders, and we have the Bank. We have 4 different tires that are the perfect match to win the race. We have the best leadership. We have the best. So we are the mechanics. I see us as the mechanic. We prepare the car, we make it. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you are the driver of your own opportunity. And you said it, we like to help people. We help people. The company does. You have the best car, you have the best tire, you have the best fuel, and you have the best mechanics. But at the end of the day, it's you out there sitting in that car making the decisions. And then it comes all to one point. Are you playing small by being afraid of losing, or are you playing big like Max Verstappen did and taking all the risk out of the comfort zone, straight into the fear zone, into the next zone, where eventually glory can be your part. And when you fail, nothing wrong. Max Verstappen didn't win the last 3 races. You do it again and again. And Kayan is a beautiful example of that.
Definitely.
But think about it. Think about yourself. Whatever we do, whatever the company does, whatever products we deliver you, at the end of the day, you are the driver of your own opportunity. So that means that you still have to do it. You have to take responsibility. Look tonight in the mirror and understand that you must be the one, that you are the chosen one, because I don't believe in coincidence. I never believe in coincidence.
We too.
You are chosen to be in this position. You are chosen for greatness. So the universe, God, Allah, Buddha, whoever is there, has chosen you to have this opportunity.
And I'm going to add something on that
Wow.
right now. Why? Because, guys, I stuck 2 years in a certain position, and they are driving and they are going. Nobody's waiting for me. Nobody's waiting for Kayan. Nobody's waiting for nobody. They are just going because they have the vision. They created the vision. They know where they are heading. And all we can do is go with them. So I decided at a certain point, I'm going to follow them and go with them. And 2 years later, on my birthday, I was standing on Business for Home. The first day I got introduced into network marketing, I saw the Business for Home incomes. And that was the reason the second day I started. And 9 years later, I'm standing at one of those events. Why? 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I saw they are not waiting for me. I can complain. I can play small. I can be there. I can hang around and do nothing. They are still there to help me. But at the moment I make the decision to go with them with the fast speed, that's the moment you get a lot of people behind you so that you can also grow your team to success. Because this time with Success Factory, it's not we are just part of a company. We have a responsibility for all the people we know around us, for the family and the next generations to come. And that's what I truly believe. And with that mindset, I'm grateful that I have the best leaders all around the world here in Success Factory around me. So thanks a lot.
Wow. What a great contribution. What a great man you are, Kayan. I am proud to be with you, my friend. And I'm looking forward for the years to come, because wherever we are today is nothing compared to the journey we are going to make, ladies and gentlemen.
Amen.
Because when you think that today we are somewhere, you know, in 10 years from now, you look back and you know that this was the little starting point of our success. There's so much coming. We still have the promotions running.
Yes.
Think about that. Think about the deck coins are almost sold out. We still have those promotions running. You can take advantage of it right now. We have the 5 countries that are there giving double the units in the universal pool. We have the universal pool. You saw the beautiful planet with the circle around it.
Yes. They already put him in the group because they are running. Like
they are running.
now.
So guys, you know, Bali was sold out very soon. Sumatra out of Indonesia is running like crazy. I think that Sri Lanka is moving. What do we have more? Azerbaijan is moving. We have Illinois, we have Chicago, really going for it. Look at it, Finland with Helsinki. Hey, that's where my Rijkonen comes from. Take advantage of it, because, you know, before you know, you're running out of time and it's not there anymore. Some people look at it, say, yeah, I want to buy Beijing. You know, Beijing, head capital of China. It's a must, but maybe you missed it.
But after your training in Cancun, I mean, all people start to buy Beijing, not even not one unit, more units. I had people that they really wake up from a long sleep. That's when I say, today is the phase in our business that we need to fight for the units, ladies and gentlemen. When you're comfortable, you lose. That's how it is. It's a big cake on the table, but when you don't rush, you don't get the cake. So fight for it, get as much as you can. That's how it works. So after a lot of people in Cancun wake up from a long sleep, and then they are like, whoa, wait, let me to buy more. So we were in 150 people, make the counting. It was
Philippines, 97% sold out. The Philippines, when you 79, no, 97% sold out. Means 3% to go, ladies and gentlemen. When you want to have a part, of the Philippines, then this is the moment, ladies and gentlemen. And then let's see if there's a last contribution from Craig, Jason, or Roald.
Let's see if they're still there.
Because I hope that we still have Roald over there. Let's see.
We are still here.
They are here.
Because I think it's always beautiful to give for a last impression the word to Roald. And then let's close it. Let's, yeah. Are you there, Roald?
I am here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good. So you already talked about the running promotions, the Decoin promotion that is actually ending tonight, I believe. So that means that the double the coins will end tonight. And then we go to 1.5 times the coins. On top of that, we have still the second package, second membership that can be purchased with the view, with their coins. On top of that, we also have the 6-month Forex still running to the end of the month. So next week, I'm back in the Netherlands, I believe, together with you again, Igor. We do the tombola, and let's see what kind of surprises come out of that.
Wow.
Yoo-hoo! So 1 hour and 50 minutes to go for the promotion that will end this night. So for the people that are now back into time, they still can work for the next 6-8 hours because they are back in time.
Yes.
So let's go for it, and let's let the people work.
Yes,
Connections.
is there something else that you want to share, or shall we end this beautiful call and let everybody go to work, Roald?
There's so many things I want to share, nothing that I can share. So we keep it like this.
Then let's go together for it. Let's put that strength
And
on
honor.
It's
It's
all